Outside the fish nursery is a locally fabricated greenhouse. It is connected through these pipes to the nursery. Crops are grown here with water and nutrients from the fish. Now this is the reason the fish nursery does not smell badly. The water from there, which contains the ammonia from the waste of the fish, is piped out into this garden to grow these plants. It's a process called aquaponics.
Aquaponics system is a climate-smart technology that integrates fish farming and plant production in the symbiotic recirculatory system here. So the system works in such a way that the effluent from the fish water is being acted by some certain microorganisms which break down the smelly ammonia into nitrate in form of nitrogen for the plant to absorb. Traditionally, plants are grown in soil, but this system here does not require soil. Instead, it makes use of certain waste, some agricultural waste here, such as pancana shells and periwinkle shells here, which serve as support for the plants to grow. So with this system here, we've done a lot of research here, and this system has been proven to be effective in the production of some certain vegetables here, such as tomato. We've produced okra with it. We've produced pepper, bell pepper. We've produced spinach, which is F4 in Yoruba. We've produced ugu with it, which is the pumpkin. We've even gone further to produce jute leaf, which is ewedu with it. We've produced beans with it, and many more crops here. We all know that food insecurity is the major issues in Africa, particularly Nigeria here, and it's affecting women mostly because we know that women are primarily the caregivers and food provider of our families. And traditionally, agricultural practices, they are insufficient in meeting the nutritional needs of our communities now. So, and this is due to limited access to resources, knowledge, and technologies. And even COVID-19's farmer-siders clashes and climate change, these are further complicated many of these existing world food problem here, and it's affecting us in this part of the country. So in order for us to enhance food production, we must leverage on innovative technology so that we can do at our backyard at any time of the year, such as Aquaponics system here.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Synapse Engine, the space where we bridge the gap between complex science and everyday impact. I'm your host, Dr. Aquaponic, and today we are talking about a challenge that affects every single one of us, the future of our food. As our climate shifts and traditional farming faces new pressures, the question isn't just what we eat, but how we grow what we eat. Our guest today is a man who is literally rewriting the rules of agriculture. He is a creative scientist, a PhD in aquaculture engineering, and a leading voice at the National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency. He has mastered the art of growing high-value crops, from ugu to bell peppers, without a single handful of soil. Please welcome the Assistant Director of Research and a true pioneer in climate resilient farming, Dr. Abraham Sunday Oladimeji, aka ASO. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Akin.
Okay,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you on the show. Now, let me give our viewers a little bit of who Dr. Abraham Sunday Oladimeji is. Now, he is a seasoned and distinguished researcher and an expert in soilless farming. He's a specialist in aquaponics, hydroponics, and aeroponics systems design for climate resilience farming. With a PhD in aquaculture engineering, he has successfully designed, fabricated, and established various protocols for soilless production of high-value vegetable crops, which include our ugu, pumpkin, jute leaves, amaranthus, bell pepper, okra, tomatoes, and many more. Dr. ASO is also an Assistant Director of Research and Head of Aquaculture Unit with the National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency in NABDA, where he leverages his expertise to drive creative and innovative technology for climate smart farming using locally available materials. Now, in recognition for his contribution towards sustainable agricultural research in the National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency, he was honored with the award of Creative Scientist of the year 2016 by the agency. Dr. Abraham Sombi Oladimeji is a member of Fisheries Societies of Nigeria, FISON, and member of Biotechnology Society of Nigeria. Currently, Dr. Abraham Oladimeji is fabricating an aquaponics production system for African catfish, that is Clarias garriepinos, simultaneously with some Nigerian leafy vegetables and fodder feed for animals. He is a second institutional-based researcher under the leadership of Dr. Viti Okomoda as the principal investigator. Once again, you are welcome, Dr. Oladimeji, and I'm happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you, sir, Doc.
So let's let's dive in quickly. I have a few questions for you, and I'm hoping that with these questions, our viewers will be able to get the best out of your expertise. I know it will not do justice. I know you have so much to tell us, but because we are constrained with time. So one, I want to talk about the local advantage. You are known for using locally available materials. However, maybe we should start by even asking what is soilless farming? What is hydroponics, aeroponics, aquaponics? I know some people will be wondering, what are those things? What are they saying? Can you please start with that, please?
All right. Thank you once again. So when you say soil farming, yes, now we are talking about productions of plants without the use of single soil in it. You know, unlike the conventional farming, where you usually use soil for your production, and where nature has already made it in such a way that the required nutrient for the plant is already in the soil. Unlike that, in this situation here, we don't require soil to grow your farm. We just need a substrate. So our nutrients is then being channeled through those media substrates direct to the plants. So when you talk, let me differentiate between aquaponics, hydroponics, and aeroponics. When you say hydroponics is the production of plants in a soilless environment. You understand? So you don't require soil in hydroponics. While aquaculture itself, where aquaponics is the combination of aquaculture and hydroponics. We all know that aquaculture is the production of fish, you understand me, in water environment, whether fish or any other plants in aquatic environment. So when you combine aquaculture and hydroponics to give you aquaponics, you understand me? So in this situation here, the nutrients that the plant requires to grow comes from the fish, you understand? Why the fish help the plants to filter the water is a kind of a symbiosis way. You understand? So then we have what is called aeroponics. That aeroponics uses air. You understand me? But that one you put your nutrient, but the nutrient is not a fish nutrient. You understand me? You just try to get your basic macro and micronutrients. You understand me? You pass it through the roots of the plant to grow aeroponics. So that's it, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for educating us. Now, my question is on the advantage, all right, you derive, because from my research of what you do, you are known for using locally available materials. So my question is, what are the biggest hurdles and, of course, the rewards of building high-tech hydroponic systems using local Nigerian resources rather than importing them?
Yeah. So we all know that the current foreign exchange in this our part of the world is high here. So we try as much as possible to look at the basic materials here around us to use. So firstly, what you need to do is you need to know the basic principle. You understand? The basic principle of what you want to do. Are you getting me, Doc?
Yes, sir. Yes.
You understand? And now when you know, and you need to know the basic function of each of those components you want to fabricate. You understand? So most of those are materials we got them from abroad. So what we need to do now, we look at the basic, we look at those basic components, the function of those components, that we try to mimic it. For example, now we have what is called biofiltration system. So that biofiltration system, the major function of it is just to filter the water. We have some certain microorganisms there that usually done the function. So mostly we buy those things in abroad here. So what I do now is that now some of those things, I look at those components. There's what is called a biobus inside those chamber here. So I just try as much as possible to see how I can be able to fabricate, you understand me, use similar materials here that has a large surface area that attach themselves to, that will give us the same functions with those of the foreign one. So one of my major challenge here that I'm having is you know, the system is capitally intensive at initial here. It's capitally intensive because you also need some you have to set up a greenhouse, you need a power supply. Are you getting me?
Yes,
you need
sir.
a power supply, and you need some other machines here to it. And some of the challenges I'm facing again is labor intensive. When I say labor intensive, is that one, aquaponics comprises of different fields, ranges from microbiologists, aquaculture, engineering, soil scientists, agronomists. You understand, agronomists to say, you know. So now I do the fabrication myself. I do the welding work myself. I do the carpentry work myself. I did electrical work myself. So the messing work, the plumbing work, I did all those things. I did all those things myself. So that makes it to be very, very challenging for me. You understand? And I want to talk about the rewards, where there have been reward for it, because most of the system that I designed, they work perfectly. They work perfectly. So I was able to look at the biofilters and fabricate it. One of my achievements also, there's what is called growth media. Growth media, that is where you plant you plant your crops. So the growth media, what it does is to support the plants. As I said earlier, that your nutrients will pass through that growth media. You understand me? Yes. Or you understand? So that growth media, what they usually use, they use gravel and cocoa pets. So here, what I now look at it, okay, I look at, okay, what materials can we use that will give us the same function? So what I did was that I now thought of it. I was able to use palm kernel shell. You know, palm kernel shell, PKS, that's the palm kernel shell, which is, and we have periwinkle shells. Okay. So some of those things are wastes. You understand me? So they conserve as a waste material. They constitute nuisance to the environment. Yes. So what I did now is just for me to now use it. You understand me? So I was able to use it as my own media substrate. Wow. And it served. Wow. So I was able to use it to produce pumpkins, to produce jute leaf, and amaranthus, and some other crops. And it did fantastically. I think that's the breakthrough for us, because they are available materials. They are everywhere here, and it's not as heavy as gravel. So I think it's a big achievement. And after the research, I think that was what I did during my MSc. So in 2014, so the agents were able to recognize me, and they gave me an award as the Creative Scientist of the Year. I think it was recommended. Thank you, sir.
Wow. You know, you have actually touched on most of the questions I would have loved to ask, but I will still ask this question anyway. And it's regards the small-scale farmers. This hydroponics systems of farming Is it something that they can adapt? And I'm not doubting the profitability of the system, but do you think they'll be able to source for the funding, or what are you suggesting they do?
Honestly, as I said earlier, that it's capitally intensive at the initial stage, because unlike the conventional farming where you just go, God has already made it. There's a land there, just plant it to grow. So in this case here, now it is capitally intensive. So most farmer might not be able to, local farmer might not be able to afford it. You understand? But I believe with government intervention, because we have designed different systems using bottles, oil bottles, the one you know, as those ones that people discard as the waste materials, some plates like that. You understand? So we use what I try to do is that I try to use cheap materials, you understand, available materials that people consider as waste as my plant beds, you understand. So I think what is just be challenging there is just the solar aspect of it, which is solar panel, you understand, because we need constant light here. We need constant light to run the system, and you know, because of this problem of epileptic power here in this part of the country here. So I think with government intervention, or a kind of a cluster project here, you know, the farmer will enjoy using it. And because we all know that the production of crops, food crops in aquaponics, or let's say soilless farming, is more than 3 times compared to conventional farming.
So the return on investment is worth it.
It is yes, the return on the investment is high at long run, but at initial is expensive. In aquaponics now, you don't require chemical fertilizers to grow your food. No, you depend on the nutrients, so you don't need reduce cost. You know, cost of fertilizer. You don't need weeding. She get it. And there's nothing like some soil-borne diseases in it. You understand me? And you can do it anywhere closer to your house here. And the system doesn't smell. It doesn't. There's no foul smell in it. So it's a very fantastic, I think, project that should be embarked on and should be embraced by the government. Thank you, sir.
To our viewers, I want to use this opportunity to recommend Dr. Abraham Oladimeji for your aeroponics work. I have watched him closely. I have seen what he has done, and trust me, he knows what he's saying. He knows his onions. He comes highly recommended. Now, to my next question. In your current TEDFund project, you are integrating African catfish with leafy vegetables. So how do you balance the delicate chemistry that is needed to keep both the fish and the plants thriving in one system?
Thank you. That's a very nice and interesting question. You know that aquaponics is a climate smart technologies that uses the nutrients from the fish to grow the plants. In the TEDFund project, we all know that it's a tertiary institution based project, as you said earlier, that is being PI by Dr. Okomoda, Professor Solomon, and Dr. Shitu here. So my major work here is just for me to design those systems, fantastic system that will meet combinations of combining fish and plants and together. Now, the basic chemistry here is that one, the end products of when fish consume protein, they release ammonia into the water. You understand?
Yes.
When the protein breaks down, they release ammonia into the water, and this ammonia here is very toxic to the fish, and that is what you perceive from the fish water that smells a lot. So now, with that biofilter that I told you that I was able to fabricate here, that is our major component here. So in that biofilters here, that biofilter will have some certain microorganisms in it they will occur naturally with time when you run the machine. Microorganisms such as nitrosomonas and nitrobacter. Firstly, that nitrosomonas, what it does is that one, it acts upon the ammonia, break down ammonia into nitrites. Are you getting me,
Yes.
Doc? So then another microorganisms, nitrobacter, further oxidize nitrite into nitrate in form of nitrogen. So that nitrogen water then, that's what plant absorb to grow. Some other essential elements that plants requires that plant requires to grow to, you can find it in water by when composing the feeds. We have some other ingredient we used to mix when composing our fish feed, so the plants have it. So that is just basically this thing here. So we try as much as possible to balance the pH. So we try to maintain the pH of our water because between 6 and 8 here. So that pH is okay for the fish, okay for the plant, and also for the micro organism in it.
Wow. Dr. Oladimeji, let me thank you so much for your response there. Let me dive a bit deeper into research, leadership, and innovation. I want to take you back a bit to the creative scientist journey, that award. Now, looking back at that 2016 award, what was the specific creative spark that changed how you approach biotechnology in agriculture?
Yeah, thank you. As I said earlier, you know, this system here, this system aquaponic system here, you have to do the aspect of biotechnology in it. You understand? And unlike now the conventional system of farming here, as I told you here, we convert the waste ammonia into nitrates useful for the bacteria. So one of my greatest achievement is for me to be able to, you know, to be able to produce a medium, you understand, and monitor those microorganisms on a daily basis. Monitor those microorganisms. I see how those nitrosomonas was able to develop. Firstly, nitrosomal develop, then later, you understand, then we have, after 2 weeks, we have nitrobacters. So that's nitrobacters. When nitrosomonas break down ammonia into nitrites, nitrobacter to further oxidize it and into nitrate. So without the achievement in that biofiltration system, we will not be able to get what we want for the plants to grow, because plants actually need nitrogen. They need nitrogen to grow in it. So it was a breakthrough. So with that, our plant came out very fantastic, and you know, people that know about the project in the agency then, because I did the project in the agency in 2016 here, they saw how the system thrive here. No chemical, no any form of chemical. We cannot introduce any chemical into the water, because any chemical you put into it will kill the fish. Because the system run in a recycling way. The water goes from the fish water, it goes to the mechanical filters where we remove the uneaten feed, solid waste from the fish, then to biofilters. You know, those biofilters, those microorganisms, you understand, were able to act upon the ammonia and convert it into nitrates. Then the water now moves to the plants. So from the plant absorbs the water and clean it further, and the clean water returns to fish. You see, so in doing so, your fish water never smelled and everything went very well. It was a very great achievement, and people that saw it, a lot of people, because there's a vote, a lot of people they did a lot of projects during that time in the agency. So they find my project to be very interesting, and I was able to win that award then. So I won that award for the creative scientist of the year.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oladimeji. Now I want to talk about engineering for biology. You have a PhD in aquaculture engineering. So how does your engineering background give you a different perspective on plant biology compared to a traditional agronomist?
All right, thank you for the question. Let me say this thing, Doc.
Yes.
Plants require five basic needs to grow. And if you can give plant that element, you can grow your plant any part of the world, even in the moon.
Wow.
Firstly, plants require solar energy, which we get from the sun, natural sun, for photosynthesis. Plants require water. Are you listening to me, Doc?
Yes, I
Plants
am.
require water to distribute the nutrients. Plants require air in form of carbon dioxide. And that air, yes, the carbon dioxide, when fish consume, taking oxygen, they release carbon dioxide into the water. Plants also require nutrients. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Nutrients which the fish derive from the system. You know, I said there are both macro and micronutrients to grow, and plant require space. So in that hydroponic system, where you put your substrates, so we try to space the plant a bit, a little here, so that they can be able to grow. They grow very friendly. So I'm able to understand a lot on it, and you know, agronomy is not really my field. You understand me? In as much as I still have some people I consult experts in agronomy, and this project alone is not only for one field. As I said earlier, it involves engineering aspect, aquaculture aspects, agronomy aspects on it. You understand?
Yes.
And we also have even what we call chemistry and biotechnology aspect of it. So it's a good project that what's doing.
Yeah. My second to the last question. You know, you are working on fodder feed for animals via aquaponics. And I'm just looking, could this be the solution that we have been waiting for as a nation to combat the perennial farmer-herder conflicts, such that it can provide sustainable, localized grazing alternatives? Is this the solution we've been waiting for?
Absolutely, Doc.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's why our major objective in that TED Fund research grants. That's the reason why they even grant that fund here, because our major objective is just for us to be able to look and see how we can be able to produce fodder feed for animals in ranching. You know, so if you can be able to ranch, if you ranch your animal, you need food. Because why the conflict is just because the herders men, they take their animals to field where those agronomists plant their food and to eat up their crop. That's what is causing the conflict here. So now in one of the projects for us to be able to produce fodder feed using this technology here, fodder feed, they are doing it in advanced countries. So we are doing it. We are about to do it. They have been doing it. You understand? So that's one of our major objectives, so that we can be able to produce a good nutritional food for animals. So with that, I think it will solve the problem and the conflict between these herdsmen and farmers.
Well, thank you so much, Doc. My last question for now, because I'm sure we'll see bring you back on the show. This has been a wonderful time with you, Dr. Oladimeji, today. So my last question for this,
thank you, sir,
for this season is that what is the next frontier for Nigerian agriculture? Is it AI integrated farms, or is it simply perfecting the scalability of the systems you are currently building?
So I think we all know that Nigeria has been classed as underdeveloped country. So we're underdeveloped and we're still trying to develop. So now bringing AI to the show now, you know, AI is what is invoked now in advanced country. They're able to, start incorporating AI into the system. Yeah, but here in this country, I think what is best for us is just be able to perfect our own local technologies. We have a lot of unemployed youths roaming about, we can engage them instead of, involving AI to come and take our work and start doing some things that, labor that humans can be able to handle. It's just for us to just perfect the system where everybody can have the system at the back of their house here. So that's what I think, Doc.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Oladimeji, for your time this morning. It's been an incredible masterclass. Thank you for showing us that the constraints of land and soil don't have to be the end of the road for Nigerian agriculture. In fact, the right technology and local materials that are needed, they are right here. And for our listeners, if there is one takeaway today, for me, it is that innovation doesn't always require imported solutions, just like you said. Sometimes it just requires the creative science to look at our local resources differently, like the palm kernel, the shells that you talked about. So now you can hear more about the work that Dr. Oladimeji Abraham is doing by dropping your comments on the comment section. I will also be putting his email address on the comment section for those who might want to consult him, all right, for his services. Once again, thank you, Dr. ASO, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that talk.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for tuning in to Synapse today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this with someone who is ready to farm the future. Until next time, stay curious and keep innovating. Bye for now.